You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
The AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's The Challenge After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's The Challenge After Show.
What's the Yo, what up, AfterBuzzers? Bing is for doing, and we are doing another AfterBuzz TV After Show for MTV's The Challenge, Season 23, Episode 2, The Perks of Being a Rookie. Yes, we are back from Vegas. We were at the Vegas Bash this week, and we'll let you know all about that later in the show. I'm here joined in studio with Roxy Striar.
Hi, Buzzers.
Oh, that was a good one. That was a good one.
I'm working on it.
Across the table, we have Nicolette Gaona.
Hi.
Oh, that was... Our iTunes
I just wanted to
couldn't
show
hear
off
that.
my new nails.
Oh, they're nice. They're nice. All right, and back in studio from The Challenge, we have Frank Sweeney.
You can now call me the Godfather. That's what that
what
would be my
we're
new
going to?
name.
Oh, I thought you were going to
Revolution.
do the gun intro.
The Che of the Rookie Revolution.
The Godfather.
Yeah.
Father. All right, so Father. We're back in studio. We want you guys to call in. The phone number is 424-256-1729. Again, that's 424-256-1729. So please give us a call. We're waiting for the steamer to get on the line, which, before we even get started, we met the steamer this weekend. And I mean, out of everybody we met, that was kind of...
Oh my God, the biggest deal by far. I was so excited to meet the steamer. We have pictures of him going like this, and it was the only one that I uploaded.
Which I'm glad, because no one else...
Him covering his
I
face.
love it.
Yes, so shout out to the steamer, and we're going to stump him tonight. I am determined. He was drunk last week. He couldn't be on the show, but this week we got him. All right. Great episode tonight.
Yeah, it was good.
A little confusing at first, the
the
first challenge.
That is the biggest understatement I have ever heard. A little confusing. I still don't get it.
Okay, it's not that confusing. Let me, it's really not. All right, so it's a wrestling match, and you want to win the wrestling match to get a piece. The first, and each team member.
Every individual has to get a piece.
Not every individual has to get a piece.
This is what the show is
you
like.
You win your wrestling match, and you get a piece. The first team to get 4 pieces, no matter which individual on your team gets it. The first team to get 4 pieces wins.
Okay.
The last team to get 4 pieces loses. And in between kind of thing is that one of the rules is that you can't, one member from your team, your whole team has to go before any member can repeat. So for my team, for example, Zach, Ashley, me, and Sam all had to go before Zach could go twice, kind of thing.
Gotcha.
That's how it works.
Okay.
Once you wrestle, you're on the other side of the pit. You can't go back to the other side to be chosen to go in again unless your whole team is gone.
Okay.
Yeah. Still don't get it?
No, I get it now, but then you had this whole thing.
Well, because, I mean, let's talk about the challenge. I mean, it got to a point where we started seeing the strategy that was involved, and you kind of were the first person, Frank, to...
Actually, Johnny and CJ and I all kind of birthed it together because we were watching this go down.
I
We
like
were
that
watching...
you birthed it.
We were, yeah, literally, like, it came out of my womb. And Johnny... And we were watching, like, Zach go up against Dustin for legit 15 minutes, like, in this oil wrestling match, beating each other to like smithereens. Like, it was nasty, and Camilla yelling to kick him in the balls and things like that because she's a dumb bitch. And then we got Nani going up against Mackenzie, literally clawing at her face like to win these pieces because everybody wants to win, obviously.
Right.
But there's like Mackenzie's blood is in the oil now. Like, it was getting really, really nasty. So we're like, if we're all in an alliance, Vegas, Cancun, New Orleans, and San Diego, why are we beating each other up within our own alliance?
Did I just miss it? But how did you guys make that alliance? I feel like we didn't see it. Last week, the alliances weren't set in stone, and this week, you guys were in a clear alliance, as it says the line was John and
I think they kind of
Sam.
introduced it at the beginning when we said like what the alliance was. I think that's the first time you've heard it formally. But when we walked into that house, we knew where our loyalties
Okay.
lied, and then pretty much everyone else had to scrap, and Wes grabbed all the scrappers for the other side. So there were 2 alliances in the house. It was ours, and then it was Austin, Brooklyn, loosely Fresh Meat, and then St. Thomas was kind of riding the middle line because Marie and Rob were trying to ride with us, and Trey's a fucking lunatic and tried to hang out with Wes.
Well, now with Marie, I know you guys are really close friends. How did that come to play? Because they came straight from St. Thomas to the challenge, or was there a little in between time?
Honestly,
or you
Marie
just
and I
fell in
became
love
friends
at first
because
sight?
one of my producers called me when they got done, and we're like, "You're gonna fucking love Marie and Rob. They drink more than anyone you've ever met in your life. They'll put you under the table." And I was like, "Well, whatever." And Zach and I called Marie out as soon as we got to the airport to fly to Turkey. We were like, "All right, bitch, we heard you can drink. Let's do this." And Marie was like a little timid. All 4 of them were really timid, meeting everybody. And maybe 10 minutes later, Marie and Rob had already finished a bottle of Cafe Patron. And Marie goes, "Come on, Zach. Come on, Frank, you pussies. Let's get to drinking." And then we were like, all right, we're in love instantly. And and before this second challenge even happened, it was probably about a week and a half that had gone by. And her and I just hit it off right away. And a week and a half in challenge time is 4 years in friendship time. So she became my ride or die right off the bat.
All right. And it kind of seems like not kind of seems, you clearly stated at the beginning of the show, I'm going to run this show. How many weeks into it was it when you said that? What was
about 2
the
hours.
clear? What made you realize that?
Well, here's the thing. I'll stroke my own ego for a second. I knew that I was going in with a good team. I knew that I was going in with a good alliance. I knew that between, not so much New Orleans, good people, but there weren't really a strong team. Between San Diego, Cancun, and Vegas, we were the 3 strongest teams there. If we went in with numbers, nobody could touch us. And then when we got to the end, it was like, all right, the 4 teams will battle it out. New Orleans will probably drop out first, but the 3 of us will battle it out. And then I also went in this game knowing that my individual team at San Diego was really good. I had Zach, who's the brawn, and myself, who's the brains. And I knew that Ashley and Sam had signed up for just listening to what I had to say and Zach's athletic direction. Mm-hmm. So it was like, if we have all this clearly aligned right from the beginning, there's no way I'm not going to run this, because I got the brain power to literally dominate, manipulate, and scheme better than anybody else here.
Do you watch the challenges? So do you already know what you're going? Because this is your first. So
yeah. I hadn't seen the challenge before. I saw parts of Rivals and right before I left because I wanted to watch it, and I saw X's because that was after San Diego, and those were the only ones I had really seen. And what I saw in them were the new people always getting thrown in, always getting thrown in, always getting thrown in. And this is our opportunity as a bunch of new people to just step up and do it. And the vets always have a leader. They always have somebody who's pushing somebody around and being kind of behind the scenes and scheming. And I was like, I'm probably smarter than all of those individuals together. I can do that for the rookies.
And so would you say for the rookie team you kind of were the leader, or was it you and Zach, or... were you the king and Zach was kind of your little...
No, I think everybody found their roles. I think that we all fit into our role really well, in that a lot of times I made emotional decisions, because I'm a pretty emotional guy, that weren't okay, and Zach kept me in check. And on other times, his emotional ties, I had to be like, Zach, no, you can't do this. I think we kept each other in check, and we also listened to everyone in our alliance. That is the major difference between someone like me stepping up and saying, yeah, I was the leader, but I'm going to listen to what you guys have to say. I'm listening to input, because if I didn't, it would be a dictatorship, and I'm not here to push people around. I'm here to go to the end with my friends.
No, that makes
fair enough.
sense, yeah.
All right, so, well, before we even finish with the challenge, I want to start at the beginning. One of the biggest ones that kind of had trouble getting onto your side was St. Thomas. Obviously, they knew from the beginning going into it, we're the lone ones out. We don't have anyone to side with. Where does that struggle with you and Trey? Where did you guys really have
Trey's
beef?
A fucking idiot. He's an idiot. He literally is. The kid's got a syndrome where when he opens his mouth, everyone wants to hit him. So he can go and sit and cry in a corner like he did at the end of the episode, because no one did like him. Were we painting him as the villain? No, because no one even cared that much about him. He meant nothing. He's a 5'2" idiot who is trying to pretend like he's a big dog. He's a super fan, is what he is, and he's trying to play with all these big dogs. No, Trey, we are offering a hand extension saying, you're nobody, we're nobody, let's just do this together, and we'll take you as far as we can, because I'm doing that out of the kindness of loving Marie and Rob. I'll extend it to you.
Well,
even
what
though you're
about
a fucking
Laura?
idiot.
Was there any like maybe getting
Laura
to
is just,
Laura?
she's just kind of in the
There.
She's just there, really. She's there, like, saying nothing.
Well,
She
'cause-
was never offensive.
What did he say?
Never too nice. She was just like always just there.
Even when Trey was talking to Laura, she really didn't have much to say.
But he must be saying something. I mean, we interviewed Laura, and you know, one thing she was the one to actually say was, you know, if I wasn't there, I don't think Trey would have been able to make it. And it's funny because then we watched this episode,
And that's
And
what
he
he
said it.
says.
Oh.
She never said anything to us.
Well, I have to say, honestly, we'll talk about it later for our special segment. Obviously, we were in Vegas this weekend for the Reality Bash, the Vegas Bash, and we got to meet all these people. And honestly, I thought Trey was a pretty nice guy. But I was sitting here shaking my head like, what are you thinking? If you have the winning team coming to you and you know that they're putting people in for elimination, and for you not to be like, yep, I'm signing on with you. Come on. I mean, swallow your pride for a second. I get that what did he say in the last episode? He doesn't want to lay over and whatever it is.
Kiss somebody's ass.
Kiss somebody's ass. Sometimes
Didn't
that's the
seem
name
like
of the
I
game
get
sometimes.
that. I get
just
that.
the
It's
name
not
of the
really
game.
an ass kissing. We were offering. It's not like we're
Right.
like beg us to stay here, Trey. We're like, listen, we'll help you out. We really love two of your
Right.
teammates. We want you to communicate with us and cooperate with us. Not fucking tell you what to do. We want you to communicate with us.
So do you
But
think
he wouldn't do it?
You think it was literally because he hated you that much that he wouldn't
No, I
sign
think
on,
he's an
or what?
egomaniac. I think he wants so bad to have a role that's like a big villain role, so bad, the same way he did on the real. He's so premeditated, it's unbelievable. He wants to be the bad guy. He wants to be the standout role. That's what he wants, and that's why I don't even want to give him the time of day. He wants to say we're painting him as a villain because he wants to be painted as a villain. He's just that obsessed and that much of a super fan that he is dying to be like the new bad guy. He is.
From what we met of him, I completely disagree. I feel like he wanted to be liked more than anything.
Absolutely not.
He wanted to be everybody's favorite person.
Well, and
Then he had a shot and he didn't take it.
I mean, you can kind of tell, like, especially when he's breaking down. I mean, you kind of like, okay, is he bullshitting or is he being real? But at the same time, it was like, okay, I can see how he would want somebody, like, and everybody to love him, you know. But he's saying all these stupid remarks. To all
It was
these
just dumb. It was
freaking
it was a dumb
teams.
gameplay. You know, you
Yeah.
don't. It was a dumb move for the game. I mean, you just swallow your pride, like I'm saying, and just say, yeah, I want to align with you guys. That's all he had to say, and you guys would have been like, okay. I mean, but then you guys didn't even throw them in, which I was also confused about.
I wouldn't do that to Murray.
Yeah.
We like our whole team. Like Zach was really close with Murray at that point. Ashley was. Sam is just a political idiot, so she didn't know what the hell was going on. But
and that week was the
Ashley,
St. Thomas team, even if they were to just get rid of
right?
Shane Lowell.
Because you don't know what these games are going to be like. You don't know. Like Danny and Melinda had to wrestle like 6 times apiece. You don't know that if a 2-person team is going to be an advantage or a disadvantage. It's a real risk. So our team didn't want to do that to. When I say I mean our team. But
Right.
We didn't want to do that to Marie and Rob.
You guys were all on the same page when you just said, when I say I mean my team. I mean, we saw tonight some teams are not as much connected like that.
After the first time that I said to Ashley, no bullshit this time, and she said yeah and agreed to that, we were on the same page. Sam had no opinion ever because she has a brain capacity of a 4-year-old, so she never had an opinion.
Now, you getting into it with Sam in the last episode, was that before or after these like, was that further into it? Or
That was just right after the first challenge.
So it was. So, I mean, even after that, do you think the quietness, she was quiet because she was intimidated, because you were
She's not
more
smart.
liked, or?
She's literally, it's like a basic intelligence thing. She's not a smart girl. She doesn't have any awareness of what's going on around her. She knows nothing except for licking pussy. So she's just dumb. And so she didn't have any, I'm sorry, I just like literally can't, I'm going in a little bit tonight, but I can't stand her.
It was the half glass of wine that we had before this.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
That must be it.
Because I'm alcoholic, remember? So it's like, so she never had any opinion, and Zach and Ashley and I were on the same page, and if we weren't, we would talk about it at length to make sure we got on the same page.
While we're talking about Sam, can I ask about last week? Just because it came up, obviously, with her, and you weren't in last week. What was the deal calling out her girlfriend for being fat? Is that,
It was just,
is that
here's
a
the thing.
moment for you that you're like,
I'm a low
wish I
I'm a
didn't do
low
that?
blower. I'm a low blower, and I do take her girlfriend's a really nice girl.
Okay,
I don't really like.
They
I don't
drove
really
down to
like
come
Sam.
see you, your mother, and
Yeah, they did, and I don't really like Sam, and I should have never said anything about her girlfriend. But I'm just a low blower, and how do I know what Sam gets offended by? She gets offended by where she's sticking her tongue, so that's what I did.
All right. So, anyways, do you think that?
Okay.
I mean, let's try and figure this Trey situation out. Did you guys going into it look at the St. Thomas team as a strong team, just in general? If you looked at everybody separately, would you have Not at all.
Absolutely not. Which is another reason why we wanted them in our alliance,
Because they
we
were
needed a
rookies
throwaway
or-
at the end.
Right.
No, they just weren't good. They just weren't good. Like, individually they had potential, but as a team, they didn't. Like Marie and Rob and Trey and Laura were so separated the whole time they were in the house. I mean, they don't really show it, but like those two like factions
more
within
than
the
Fresh
team
Meat?
did not communicate.
More than Fresh Meat? Because Fresh Meat seemed pretty...
More Fresh Meat was just 4 individuals, period. So they were just screwed from the beginning. But as like a real world season, you could just see that there's a huge divide between Trey and Laura and Rob and Marie, and like if they couldn't work together, they were never going to get anything done. Individually, like as a wrestler, no girl was going to like really beat Marie at least by a lot, you know. And
you were
Laura
telling
is
us she's really strong.
She's really strong. Laura looks. We never really got to see it from Laura, but I really do think that she's a pretty decent athlete. Trey, if it was a pull-up competition, could probably beat anyone there, I guess, because he looks like Joe from Family Guy. And then, and Rob is an all-around like not great at one certain thing, but just like an all-around good competitor. So individually they were good, but they didn't have any means of communication, and it just was never going to work.
Well, poor Austin. They were the losing team for the challenge.
Sad.
It was
I felt bad.
because you're rooting for him, and
I did too. I did too,
You were
just because
rooting
I
for
really like. Well, it was like they took the heat for having Wes on their team, and Danny, whether it was a manipulative move or not, would come up to like us and be like, "Well, he's gone now, so like I really want to stick around, and like I really like you guys. It's good to be around some new kids, things like that." So I was like, "Oh, Danny," it was like kind of like one of those, like, "Oh, Danny." And Ashley got along really well with Melinda, so it was like, "Oh, we don't really want to see them go home," but
You were explaining to us, I didn't even realize this, that it's actually 2 teams per week that leave. So all of this is happening in a way shorter time than what we're seeing it in. So you were really only in the house with him for a week.
with Danny,
With Danny and
about
Melinda.
a week and a half, yeah. Danny and Melinda. The second
That's
challenge
so
is about a week and a half
crazy.
in.
Wow.
so they lose. You guys are the power team, and now everyone's frantic, like, "Oh my god, we got to talk to San Diego and just get them to like us." And Fresh Meat is worried
suckers.
beyond themselves. What's the deal with Fresh Meat? I mean, you said there are 4 individuals. I mean, I'm not going to really put myself out there and just judge Camilla, but
Camilla put the target on her back for her team. I'll say that much. And
Just because that one comment, or
not
things
because
that
that
she
one
did
comment. In a
throughout-
lot of people's eyes, they make it like it was like because Camilla bitched at the challenge and I bitched back at her. But it wasn't just that. She put the target on her back for her entire team because she sees that light on the camera, she seeks it out, and she plays it up like crazy. And people don't like people like that. Nobody does. It's
Right.
like
She
attention's-
learns from the best.
Especially when
bananas.
you're working with them, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's just like he needs to roll over in his coffin anyways. But anyway, so like
You're telling me.
she
Our fans are gonna hate. They hate that we talk about them.
she
know.
she's just such she like seeks so much attention, and she just makes such a big deal out of like the smallest things, and it just gets tiring to be around, really. And so she put the target on her back for her whole team.
How was she as a competitor?
She's pretty good, actually.
Yeah. I mean, so she.
Yeah, we
Well,
saw
she
that last
seemed-
challenge
I
and
mean,
even
yeah.
tonight. She's a crazy competitor. I don't think anybody could take that from her. But at the same time, it pissed me off so much that she didn't volunteer to go in and was like, "Well, Cara Maria, you know what? In this
That
past
was irritating.
in this past one, I do well in the challenges and you do well in the eliminations." Like you were saying, it's like, oh, that's easy to say. That's such bullshit. You make a plan. You either switch off every time you guys go, or you say, you know what, the 2 of us are going to go in for endurance and for.
Just play to your team's
You're
strengths.
right, exactly.
Like, know what your team's strengths are, too. And, like,
Well,
But I guess it didn't matter. 'cause
With
they
their
won,
strengths,
so.
though, I will say this: that when we talked to Cara Maria, because she's very specific about how you pronounce her name.
Most people do care how you pronounce their name.
But just like we're gonna say Johnny, because we
We got
that one up royally.
so many YouTube comments being like, "It's John A," and I was like, "Okay."
Which half of y'all were spelling that wrong.
my mom's
again,
always
so.
like, "Oh, Zach's dating that girl, Jonah."
I think,
Nah, I'm like, Mama.
didn't we say Jean? What was the
I don't-
Joanna?
I can't go back to
You
how many
said
different
you
names.
said Joanna, man.
I was just trying to think. We went back to like so many different names.
What's the other
at
one's
that point.
hard? Jemmy.
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 See, we just.
Flipping the
Gem?
names.
Like Jazz?
Jemmy.
All right. Well, the
Jemmy.
thing that Kara said was
Jimmy?
Cara. The thing that she said.
Cara Marie.
It's my. I think it is my East Coast accent because I don't want to. That's such.
Yeah,
weird.
She's from Boston too.
No,
Right, but she was so specific.
yeah, totally. No, the Italian. Cara Maria, like that.
Yes.
She
Cara
said,
Maria Sorbello.
and I'm Greek, so that doesn't work for me. You know, she did that. She
So
said,
wing and a man.
when it comes to the strengths, she said, I admit, like, I am good at the execution rounds. She's like, you know, but at the end of the day, the ones I'm good at can get me sent home. So no, bitch, you put yourself in there sometimes.
Because it's about your
fairness.
partner also.
And she should have just known she was going to get thrown in regardless, because she should have known she just was going to.
Did
especially
Big
that
Easy
he-
know you guys were going to send him in?
I'm not really sure what they thought, because I think that they must have known. If they didn't, they're idiots. But they must have known that Camilla was going to go in if we got the chance to
Right.
throw somebody in. And we also knew, okay, endurance. Like, he must have somehow deduced that, like, we're going to put somebody bigger who can't run as much in an endurance challenge with her because we want her home. Had nothing really to do with him. It had to do with
I mean,
sending her home.
You have to be concerned if you're going into, and we didn't know what the endurance challenge was going to be, but endurance with Big Easy, it doesn't sound promising.
Right, exactly, which is why we're saying, like, you should have known that if you gave us the power, that would be the couple we'd put in.
Right. So if I were Camilla, I would have just been like, you know what?
I'll go in
And I'll go with Brandon. The two of us didn't go in last week. That's fair because they would have had a better shot. But again, what the hell am I even talking about? Because they won, so it didn't matter. Like, but
it was a crapshoot because we didn't know what they were at that
right,
point.
exactly. And just by the sound of endurance, that doesn't sound like something you want to do with Big Easy.
Right.
Yeah, we
Because
thought they were going to be like big hamster wheels or something that they had to run on. We didn't know what the
That
hell
would
it
have
was.
been sick.
Yeah.
That would have been way cooler than the freaking challenge that you guys did today. That gruesome oil thing.
It was
just looked
not
miserable.
even fun.
You said it
I
took
believe it was.
like 4 hours.
It took like 4.5 hours, and everyone was tapping out, and it still took that long.
There we go. I want to give a shout out to all our fans out there. We want to thank you guys so much for tuning into the YouTube videos. But again, we need your help. We need to get to #1 on iTunes. So you go to iTunes, the iTunes store, type in AfterBuzz TV, The Challenge, subscribe, rate, comment. If you guys leave a comment, we'll give you a shout out next week. Let's talk about some fun stuff.
Okay.
You guys went to the club,
Yes.
got it in.
Went to the club.
Our favorite
what's
drunkie,
up.
Knight. Let's talk about Knight and his little love romance he's got going on. I'm not even going to try and pronounce her name. So
Jemmy.
Jemmy.
Jemmy. Oh, there we go. All right,
Yeah. I'm killing
All
it.
right, so
Lessons
Knight and
learned.
Jemmy,
I just
What's
what
the
was it
deal?
like being there with
What is
him? What
the
was
deal? They just
I
seem-
love him,
He
but-
just seems blacked out always.
he says
all the
that she
time.
calls him
Yeah,
all the
that is the
time.
deal.
That's true. So she. I mean, but here's the
fine.
thing.
I
A
don't
lot
care.
of us were. A lot of us were because what the hell else are we supposed to do? I mean, you remember me last week. I literally couldn't speak.
Yeah.
Like,
True.
I literally couldn't talk. And like, it's just, there's nothing else to do. Like, it's not even the real world. There's nothing else to do. It's like, we're legit locked into a compound. And so the only thing we have to look forward to isn't the food, because the food was rice, chicken, and bread. That's it. So what we had to look forward to is like, just please give us a little bit of vodka at the end of the night.
Right.
Something.
What was the deal with that? Did they provide that for you?
We get rationed out, actually.
You get rationed
Rationed
drinks?
drinks. It's literally like living in like prison camp. It's like living in a prison camp.
Wait, but what if you
Ridiculous.
want more
Bunk
shots?
beds, rationed alcohol, rationed food, wake up time.
You can't
Wait,
bring
wait.
your own booze.
Wait,
I know, that's what I'm saying.
What's the ration alcohol?
So the vodka's dyed blue so that no one can sneak it into water bottles. And they give you a bottle at a time. In the beginning, they gave us a bottle at a time. And once that bottle was empty, and it had to be in like presence of the camera so that we knew that no one was like taking it and hiding it, even though like you could, work your way around once in a while. Once that bottle was empty, you handed it in. They would give you another one until they wanted to call it quits. By the end of the challenge, because you had people like me, Knight, Jemmy, Jasmine,
Marie.
Marie
Rob.
and Rob. Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh, we're sorry, guys.
Nani. Because you had people like that, they were pouring individual shots into cups for us, and that's it. And they would ration it out personally by the end.
So you couldn't actually get drunk.
Like you could, but you had to
Well,
work
they weren't
towards
really
it.
feeding you, so I mean, I guess
wow.
a couple days into
That's crazy.
And by the end, I mean halfway through. So it wasn't really even the end. It was like halfway through, we were like, we still had.
Wouldn't they want you to get drunk so you have good television?
Well,
Or you make
sometimes
good
we
tell?
can't even put our words together. Or they were afraid that, like,
You would get hurt on the challenge.
Somebody would
day
hurt
or something.
We couldn't drink before challenges, but they would be like, they'd be afraid that someone was like actually going to hit somebody, because that's not a fun way for anybody to go home.
Right.
Or like hit somebody with a bottle, or like there's just like liabilities. So
Yeah.
All right, so
Everybody's
the club
favorite.
night, we had night, and the other thing is, guys, I love Melinda, but girl, you should not be giving relationship advice to two drunk people.
When
the
you're
whole
just as
conversation was
wasted.
drunk.
Right.
No, the whole
It was
conversation
fantastic.
She's on here.
Shut up. Now listen to her.
Like grabbing it. So funny. This is his realest time. He really loves you now. I was like, you are so cute.
No one's gonna remember this in the morning. They're gonna be like, "What did he say?" Like, I can't. Like,
I know. I was surprised for her interview. She remembered what she was talking about.
Also, you know what? That's one other thing to chime in about liquor is the club, when we get to go out like once, maybe twice a week, is the only time we get to pick our booze. It's not vodka.
okay.
So everyone gets schmammered because I'm drinking like whiskey,
nice
and then
word,
I'm like,
schmammered.
bah.
But you guys have to pay for it then.
Yes, and it was $40 like a drink, pretty much, because the Turkish men were driving it up.
Really?
But we didn't know. We were like, yeah.
All right. Now, I'm also going to have you speak on, because last week we were a little hard on Janedy last week.
Ooh.
We were.
What are you talking
That's all right. I was too at the beginning. Very
Because
hard on her.
Going into it,
Oh, about
with the whole
loving
situation
Zach.
with Zach, and then we find. I mean, this is the first episode. We felt
Right.
that the first night she was there, she just fell head over heels for Zach, and broke up with her boyfriend, who's crying.
Who we think is like been with her for a long time.
He ain't
Like,
been with her more than 3 weeks.
Everybody's wondering why we keep looking over there and why we keep like giggling.
Janae is in studio. She
Yes.
just doesn't want to participate.
No,
She will
they
come
can't
on the
see you,
show.
don't
She will.
worry.
She will.
But
she will
she's gonna come on a
join
different
us.
week,
Yes. But we're gonna get this out of the way today. I want to clear her name. That
Oh, I'll go in on her.
no, we're not gonna go in on it, because I want. It's
like Frank's favorite part of the night.
No, you got to go in on this, because since she can't come up and talk about this, there was an interesting story about the dress that she wore in one of the interviews. Because my question was, you're there with an ex-couple, so you have Zach and Ashley. Was it awkward for Zach? Was it awkward for Ashley? You know, I mean, not really awkward for Zach. I mean, he's just the
getting
man
it.
of the house. But
Drive around. he get
was it awkward for anyone? She said that they got along pretty well. Frank, would you agree that they got along pretty well?
Ashley and
or-
Zach?
No,
Um,
Ashley and Janedy.
Ashley and Janae. Yeah, I think they got along all right. I think that, as a bystander, I don't want to speak for either one of them. I was taken aback in the beginning because, for the same reason you said, it was like the first night, and like Zach has just recently become like my boy. So like I'm now watching out for him, and I'm like, this girl jumped into bed with him pretty quickly. I'm like, what's going on? That's just like a red flag in my head. And then I see like how it's affecting, like Ashley being like, it was all behind the scenes, because Ashley really didn't want to hurt Zach or Janae, but it was all behind the scenes with me, and Ashley would just be like, it just sucks watching it with another girl right off the bat. Like she was like, I know that we weren't going to be great friends or whatever. It just kind of hurts a little bit. And so seeing that, like, not only is Ashley becoming my friend, but she's my teammate here, I want to try to keep everybody in good spirits. So I'm kind of calling Janae out into question, just like, what are her intentions? What is she doing? Is she necessarily playing her cards right? But then you have to ask, like, is Zach playing his cards right either?
Right.
It's just a messy situation, and no one's really in the right. But my first instinct was to jump on defense of my teammates, because I didn't know Janae as well.
okay.
All right, so we're clearing her name tonight, and you guys have to stay tuned to future episodes to find out what happened.
Nothing. I'm mad at you.
You're mad at me.
No hair.
Frank,
Why me?
You're being
See,
an
this is
asshole.
why you should have been
Wait.
on here.
Yeah, I should. Myself.
Wait, hold on, Jesse. You said we're clearing her name. What did we just clear her name of?
That because we thought that she was in a relationship with this guy. Oh, and also
Oh, yeah, no, okay, that's another thing. Time-wise, it wasn't
It
the
was
first
10
night.
days into
it.
it.
Was like 10 days in, like what we said, that's like 5 years
Right.
in real life. So that's another, yeah, that wasn't like,
But he
right.
he seemed just as into it as she did. So
Oh, yeah,
at
it was
least
100%
it wasn't
genuine.
yeah.
100% genuine. But, like, you have to remember that a week and a half had already gone by, and in that time, Trishelle had already hooked up with Zach and me and Derek, and I don't know, I mean, like, so, like, people had already hooked up.
That's so weird because we haven't even seen Trishelle on for more than 30 seconds in the
Yeah.
entire 2 episodes.
But that's the thing, like, it had been time. Time had gone by, so it wasn't the first night.
no, it was 10 days into it, so we're clearing the name there. End of story. Let's move on. Okay, what else do we have in the club? Just drunkenness, sloshing
Yeah.
everywhere. Moving on to the final challenge. Balls out.
Balls out.
Right before they go on, Big Easy with a, I don't give a fuck, how about that? Okay.
It was so
scared.
intense.
That was
He
shots
seems
fired
pretty-
at us.
Oh,
He seems
okay.
pretty
That was
intense.
shots fired.
Like, when he said that, I was like, get out of his way. This person's winning the competition of the night. He was like,
So livid.
When
I
you-
would not have wanted to fuck with him.
When you understood what the challenge was, did you kind of already guess who might win that? Or
No, I definitely didn't, because I thought that Melinda would do so much better than Camilla. Because
Really?
Camilla's just so small.
But I
How
play
do you-
volleyball for
Right.
the Brazilian national team.
I don't think she won it for them at all. I think it was 100% Big Easy.
No, it was me.
Oh,
It was me.
okay.
It was all her. Yeah.
So they have to slide balls from each side. They got 5 minutes. Fresh meat wins. Do they come back with vengeance? Are they
You'll
just-
have to see. I can't. I'm not giving away spoilers, but I know that I was standing up there. I was a little shocked because it was 5 minutes long. I didn't know that Easy had it in him to keep moving the whole time.
Why would it be called endurance if it was 5 minutes long?
Yeah.
5 minutes of working out is a really long time. Have you ever done that, Roxy? Of literally running for like
Like,
5 minutes hard.
Did I just get called out?
No. I'm just saying, like, it is really hard. Like,
No, it definitely looked really hard, but
Yeah.
I thought endurance was going to be like standing on something, whatever it was, for hours.
Yeah.
Something, a long
we don't
one.
start the eliminations till like midnight. So if it was for
Wow.
hours,
really?
I think everyone would have been crying.
Like,
by
what
the
was
end.
the one, what was it, Rivals? Or when they had to stand on those little podiums and they had to jump over
That's what I'm
or-
saying. That's what I thought it was
That
going
was
to be
Rivals?
like.
X's.
X's.
That
That's
is
what I thought it
endurance
was going to
to
be
me.
like.
And they-
That's endurance.
Seemed
Definitely.
like they were doing
Or
it
like
for
you're
a while.
saying, running in a hamster wheel until you cannot run anymore. But there was a time
them
limit.
people-
I
Without
didn't
giving
think-
away
Puking,
spoilers,
hurting
I
each
think
other.
that they messed up the names on 2 of the eliminations, honestly, because the next one, or I don't know in what order you'll see it.
Oh, no.
but
It's even the last one. What was the last one? It was
Yeah, the last
Hall
one.
Brawl, physical.
that was kind of physical.
But and
Yeah.
then whenever you see this, one of the other two, it's called strategy. And honestly, I think strategy was more of an endurance thing. When you see it, you'll understand.
Okay.
And endurance is more of a strategy thing because if you hold all the balls to the very end and then just shoot them over, that's like a pretty solid strategy.
Yeah.
And that's
Oh.
what Fresh Meat did.
Well, and that's actually what I was just going to ask you. Would you have been disqualified if you literally just kept them all on your side? And it's
There
kinda
were no
like
rules.
Dodgeball.
Yeah.
Really?
So people just seem to want to play this game with muscles, and it seems that that's
This
not the
game
way
is
to
a
do it.
political game.
Right.
That's crazy.
It's a strategy game. I mean, when you're in the challenge and it's like something like walking 15 miles with a 600-pound log on your back, that's the physical part.
Right.
But you have to strategize the best way to do it. You have to strategize who's going to
get
do
there.
what. Like, it's all strategy, these games. That's why people like Johnny end up doing so well, because he's a master strategist. Until me.
Makes a lot of sense.
Well, I'm upset with the steamer. You let me down this week because
Yeah, what the hell?
we
Maybe he doesn't love us
we're gonna
anymore now
stump
that
you
he
next
met
week with the
us.
same exact question because this is a really great question. But anyways, we were in Vegas this weekend at the Vegas Bash. It was a
Neither of
very
you guys showed
interesting
face.
time.
Thanks.
Neither did. So I kind of
Whatever.
don't think
We were
you
at a photo shoot, so.
Oh, aren't you guys just so
Big thing.
sexy? Oh, so sexy.
I'm sorry. You
No,
saw me all oiled up today. Yeah,
I
sexy.
did. No, but the Vegas Bash was fucking awesome.
was
We had so much fun.
wild. And like we said, we were kind of harsh on Trey, St. Thomas season. Nice guy, wasn't as bad as we thought he was gonna be.
That's good.
We had a pretty good time with him. Laura, sweet girl as well.
And
You guys-
damn, she can pole dance. Something you guys don't know about her, maybe.
Oh.
That girl can get on a pole.
and drink.
And oh my God,
Except Trey gets mad at her when she drinks.
right before we were about to do our interview, she downed that thing like an entire glass.
And you guys got to make sure you check out the interviews at youtube.com/AfterBuzz TV. And before we get into some other things, we have the steamer on the line.
Ooh, he heard us talking shit, so he
Steamer,
called.
you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
What the hell's going on, bud?
Steamer, you
What?
take a nap?
What, are you still hungover from Vegas?
No, I'm fine. I'm good.
All right. So
A little
before
rough the day after, but I made it through.
excellent. All right. So before we get into the Vegas Bash situation and Stump the Steamer, I want to know what you thought of this episode. Kind of the politics.
And I don't really. The politics is just boring as shit to watch. Since it's nothing like Frank did when he got there. It's like when it's cast, like you get the politics that come into it because there's like no real veterans there to like take charge. So it was basically made for like newbies to go in there and run the show, which is fine since that's what you need for like the long-term future of the show. You want new faces in there. You can't just always have Johnny, Kenny, etc., etc. So it's good for the show, but it's not like a lot of brains on anyone's part to do what they did, and it just made for boring as hell TV. Like that challenge could have been cool.
The challenge was awful.
No, it was just
I agree.
A bunch of bitches just tapping out.
All right.
I mean, you know what? I agree with him though. It was boring as hell. It was boring as hell to be there, but I wasn't about to sit back and watch everybody get their asses beat either.
Right. No, it makes sense what you did.
You gotta do what you gotta do, but at the same time, it was boring as fuck.
It was bad. I thought it was bad. We all complained about it because we knew it was going to be boring when it happened. So the producers were like, "Why would you give us that when the strategy was so easy for us to literally not do anything?" That was a comment we had made while we were there.
Yeah, it's lazy on their part too. So it's not just you guys are doing it. It's lazy on their part for not coming up with something better.
Especially last week, that challenge was so kick-ass with the climbing up the ladder, the crossing.
And next week.
Really?
Yeah, next week is good. Next week is one of my favorite ones.
Really? I don't know. I mean, I really like this season. I think I like the politics in it. You know, we interviewed Anissa and Abram this weekend, and
Let's say something.
What do you want to say, Nicolette?
Well, I was just saying, no, I really appreciate this new season of the challenge because it's definitely going to be taking these people a longer time for the next seasons. I mean, especially how are they gonna rotate? You know, freaking CJ, is it CJ? Kenny, CT, Kenny, Abram, like all those people. You know, Wes, as you can see, he's already out now. It's like I feel like it's the new era, the new coming of the challenges, you know, all the new real people, like thanks for all the old times, you know what I mean? I just feel like it's going to be brand new. There's going to be a lot more coming to it with the new cast and the new people.
Well, piggybacking on that, how do you feel about potentially doing another challenge?
I'm on the fence.
A lot of you guys are, though.
Yeah, that's what we heard, a lot of that. I mean, it seems like a bunch of fun and games, but I'm sure when you're there...
It's miserable. It's legitimately miserable. I promise you it is. And for anyone who ever freaks out on these shows, myself included, any of the people that I don't like for freaking out, or in the moment didn't like for freaking out, I give you, myself, everybody 100% amnesty because it is miserable conditions. Literally, it's like a prison camp. Wow. So... And this one, I guess, especially, was very dramatic, just with a bunch of new personalities. We didn't know what we were getting ourselves into. We hadn't done it before. We didn't know we were going to a prison camp. Some of the vets bring melatonin. They work out. They bring melatonin. They go to sleep. That's all they do during the day, just to pass time, because it's literally that miserable. We didn't know that. So we went in expecting a little bit of a party and a good time, and it wasn't at all. So it's a catch-22 because it's a fantastic opportunity. You get a paid vacation. You know what I mean? Like, you get a paid vacation. You get to go climb on adult jungle gyms and compete, and like for people who are competitive like myself, it's the most amazing opportunity ever. But it is legitimately awful. So it's like, what do you pick? Do you choose to live with people that you dislike so much that you can't be around them, but you can't help but see them and live in these conditions that are miserable, or do you turn up the fact that you're in Turkey, you're in, you know, anywhere in the world really, and getting paid to be there?
We asked a lot of people this at the bash, but so if you could have picked to do one, either the challenge or the real world, what was the better experience?
Ask me that when all of this is over, because it's not over yet. You know, we're in episode 2, so ask me that when all of this is over, and I'll let you know.
Well, one thing I will say is a lot of the alumni this weekend said that they love this season. And I think it's the same reason we all love it. It's a new energy. We're throwing you guys into something that you've never experienced before.
That's why it's so crazy.
And I love it. It brings me back to when the challenge, when it was Real World Road Rules Challenge. I used to love it, and then I kind of lost it for a little bit, and then I started picking it back up. But the one thing is and Anissa really touched on it. She got tired of doing the challenges because she's like, it's the same thing. Everyone goes in there, they play the same characters. You know, they're working out. She's like, when we used to do it, when it first started, she's like, nobody worked out. We smoked cigarettes, we drank, we partied till the next morning, and then we were a shit show for the challenge, you know. Now it's like a triathlon, and I thought that's what was really great about, I think, about this season is watching you guys. It's so fresh, seeing the new alliances form, knowing that, okay, well, it's going to be really exciting, and Frank and Trey are on a new challenge. What's going to happen, and that type of drama. So I love the energy.
It's like watching the Olympics.
Yeah.
Like, seriously. No, it's
MTV Olympics.
No joke. It's watching a sporting event. It's really intense. Like you're saying, it didn't used to be like that. It used to be kind of like walk in the park, some drama. The competitions were just a side part of it. The focus, as we saw, more than half the episode was you guys in this oil. Yeah. So I mean, it's crazy to watch.
I want MTV All-Star Challenge, and I want it to be like the Jersey Shore versus the real world. I
think all of us want that.
That would be epic. What
I don't even know how to handle that.
Stump the Steamer. You ready, Steamer?
Yeah, let's try it.
Stump the Steamer!
Oh, I missed that.
That used to come up from the table, but there's too many people for that. All right, Steamer. Who did Evelyn replace in Fresh Meat 2? Evelyn wasn't supposed to be on the show, but someone came on the show. They couldn't participate, and
Yeah.
A little bit of a passport mishap.
I mean, this kid is just...
Johanna.
It was close.
Well, you almost said the name right.
It's Janedy, but
It's
I wouldn't just throw something at you. I hate you so much. I thought
Unless
we were gonna
he was
get-
really meaning Johanna.
Right, were you talking
Wes's
about
ex.
Johanna?
Were you talking about?
You talking about
No,
Wes's
I
ex?
got it wrong. Yeah, I was thinking Austin Johanna.
Oh, and see, he's an honest kid. That's why we love you, Steamer. We stumped the Steamer today.
Oh.
And actually, we got to give a shout out to Janedy. She was the one that
Came
gave
up
us
with
the question.
it. Good job, girl.
yeah.
Oh, we're going into this good. We stumped the Steamer in the first try. All right.
Awful.
Yes.
Steamer, you got to take out the flashcards. Get back to studying.
And now you're really screwed because I know a whole bunch of new real worlders that I'm going to get all the information from.
Yeah.
Let's just jump into predictions from here.
Well, we hear there's going to be a really sick
your AfterBuzz TV
competition next week.
prediction.
I loved it. I loved
I'm
it.
excited.
Can we? What was it called? Can we get any of the details? No.
Absolutely
All
not.
right, we hear that. I mean, there's going to be some hookups
Good, I'm
in the
glad.
future.
I don't know. I know nothing.
He's not telling us anything.
Were you even there?
I got
Were you on
eliminated
this
this
season?
episode. You just didn't see it.
Damn it. All right.
For being a douche.
No, but what we can talk about actually is at the beginning of the episode, Sarah was looking at Alton. Like,
Oh, right.
"Oh, look at those muscles." Then we hear that she's manipulating him.
Which will be interesting.
Charmin, the
There's
black
just so many
snake.
people that we haven't even seen for more than 30 seconds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it's the second episode.
No, that's what I'm saying. So
That's
I don't
right
even
there.
know what to predict
There's
because
32
Right.
of us. You know what I mean? There's 32 people there. It was
it's
crazy.
insane. It's
Yeah.
insane. So I don't even know. I mean, people could come out of freaking
But I
nowhere.
feel like it's the first time someone's actually called a girl out on something like that.
manipulating.
Yeah. Instead of actually being real, if you think about it. I mean, there might have been a couple times, but not like legit.
I feel like they tried to
make it
do a
into
Paula,
something.
but then we found out like Paula actually kind of liked Mike, and it was
Right.
kind of awkward for everybody.
Yeah, I just can't wait to see the whole Jasmine and Big Easy thing. Just
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I can't.
we didn't even
That
see that this
Devin and
time.
Big Easy. Right, is that what you mean?
Devin?
It was Devin?
No, it looked
No,
like
the clip
Jasmine.
we saw was Jasmine.
Oh.
I'm sorry, that was really loud into the camera.
All right.
Okay, that's not a spoiler. That was in the trailer. Get
Yeah,
your
that
was in the
it.
trailer.
No, it looked like Jasmine.
Are you sure that looked like Jasmine?
She looked like a petite little thing.
All right,
That
we're ending that. We're ending this show on a negative note.
And,
we
okay.
can't. Just go on to youtube.com/AfterBuzzTV. TV. Check out all the interviews Roxy and I had at the Vegas Bash. Lots of information. Get everyone else's input on the challenge. I can't even.
And
with
until
that.
then, you can tweet at us
I can't. At DJ Jesse J.
at Roxy Striar.
At Nicolette Gaona.
And at MTV Frank Sweeney.
Comment, rate,
Yeah.
subscribe on iTunes. Follow us at AfterBuzz TV. Until next week, guys. Please. I need to call Devin.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.